I want to begin by making a confession. I do not yet know very much about video games. But as a native Floridian, one thing I do know a lot about are theme parks, specifically the Disney World theme parks and Universal's Islands of Adventure. I have visited these parks since before I have memory, and when I cannot fall asleep, I'll admit, I sometimes try to ask my brain to walk itself through the Magic Kingdom's various lands in order. This is a form of escapism, just as visiting the parks is a form of escapism. As I try to recall the layout of the parks, I am disappearing into a world where the challenges are surmountable. I have not ever, though, thought of these theme park spaces as they relate to gaming. In Aarseth's A Hollow World, World of Warcraft: A Spatial Practice, he argues that World of Warcraft sacrifices realistic world design in favor of a space in which users might engage in a fiction of reality. He argues that this fictional realm, quote, offers the players near instant access to the attractions, very much like an amusement park, a carefully planned playground where the ludicrous is accepted simply because it is amusing and pleasant. Expansions to the game world work in the same way as expansions to theme parks. The map is expanded and old customers will have a new reason to visit, end quote. This layout based on practicality is a common feature of many theme parks, most notably Disney's Epcot, where a series of countries that are, in reality, quite far apart geographically, are placed side by side in a very small space. Park visitors can eat breakfast in Mexico, lunch in France, dinner in Germany, and dessert in Norway, for example. For such a park, as Aarseth explains, quote, the key design principle is enjoyment, not geopolitical or material realism, end quote. As an aside, I would add that while Disney's Epcot Park employs people in these various countries who are actually from the countries that they represent, the effect is sometimes a bit reductive, as it commodifies a culture in the form of a stereotypical restaurant, ride, or video, or an employee with a signature Disney smile. To return, though, to Aarseth's point, I am inspired to reconsider and perhaps challenge distinctions that I have made in the past between visiting a theme park and entering a video game world. As I read this article, I was thinking most specifically of the Harry Potter theme park and Universal's Islands of Adventure, as it challenges me to reconceive of myself as an accidental gamer. More specifically, this park area, which captures the Hogwarts and Hogsmeade areas of the infamous Harry Potter series, asks visitors to engage in a form of gameplay that takes both literate and electorate forms. In this park, visitors can marvel at the Hogwarts castle's enormous structure and towers. They can visit a shop to be fitted with a wand of their own. They can visit an owlry to send a message to other wizards and witches, and they can sip on butterbeer or pumpkin juice while they take in the bustling downtown area of Hogsmeade. And these are just a few of the shops in town, to say nothing of the rides that are also present. There is a Dueling Dragons roller coaster that allows riders to experience what Harry does so often in the series, flying on the back of a dragon at terrifying speeds. Riders even choose which dragon they would like to ride, and this choice means that they ride one of two different roller coaster tracks that eventually intertwine. Visitors also enter the Hogwarts castle, walk past the potions classroom, through the Gryffindor common room, encountering the Sorting Hat and hearing it think out loud. Visitors also walk through the botany classroom, past Dumbledore's office, and into the Great Hall. In this room, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, who seem like they are really present in the room due to state-of-the-art technology, make snow appear and fall on visitors. What I have not mentioned, though, is that as visitors make their way through these spaces, they are actually waiting in a quite lengthy line, and this waiting can sometimes take up to an hour or two. In Hogwarts, once visitors reach the end of the line, they are rewarded for their patience and their endurance of the sometimes extreme heat or rain, with an incredible ride experience that takes them on their own adventure with Harry Potter. As they escape from Dementors and Voldemort and ultimately safely reach the end to the cheers of many familiar Harry Potter characters, viewers are struck with the feeling that they have entered the novels in a way that reading does not make possible. Reading Harry Potter itself can feel like a game. There are spells to understand, plot lines to follow, twists and turns to navigate, and for my fourth grade self, when she first read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, there are a lot of unfamiliar words and experiences that have not been had. The series itself can feel like magic, but in the Harry Potter park, visitors get to enter this world. They get to touch, taste, feel, and listen to it. They get to stop using their imagination to invent this world as they read, and they get to instead invent their progression through it, their experience and interaction with it. During his lecture for our class at Clemson, Aarseth pointed out that gaming doesn't have to always refer to video gaming specifically. His argument leads me to see that gaming is about experience. It is about being in a place where decisions can be made, where rewards and penalties are exacted for these decisions, and where what is in the head or on the page might be generated into real life, virtual or otherwise. If this is the case, and I believe that it is, then what Aarseth posits is quite significant. It seems that he argues that almost everyone who has an imagination, who can read text on a page, who can visit a theme park, or yes, play through a video game, is a gamer.